that friend, that neighbor know where to go when it's time to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. This including the ice wall. Baby, the name is Law Nation.
Dread it, run from it, destiny arrives all the same. And now this year, or should I say, I am.
My turn! Tell me it was my turn!
The Late Night Live, brought to you by Frenkel and Frenkel Personal Injury Lawyers. Sleeper, your number one fantasy app. Cowboys Truth takes time. Draft season, new DC coach possible. Who do you want? We talked about this earlier today. Who do you want? What do you want? What type of scheme, philosophy, principle you would like to see with the silver and blue? Or should you run it back with Matthew Eberflus? What should be the selections here? Put a 1 in the chat if the audio is straight. No San Fran audio, baby. Mama said that there will be days, literally, just like this. Come on. And as this room fill up, be sure to hit that like button, share this content. Let that friend or that neighbor know. Come on. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good afternoon, good night, good morning, good all of everything. Appreciate everybody, man, for rocking in and tuning in to the late night conversation that can rule the nation as the room fill up. The truth. I always say the truth takes its time. The lie travels all around the world before the truth roll out of the bed, right? And I get it, right? We are a team, the Cowboys, not to beat them up. I think Jerry loved to quote, since 1996, the 6th most winningest team in the National Football League, and which is hard to do, right? And there's about 15 other teams that haven't won since 1996 as well. But by it being the Cowboys, we have levels of great expectations, right? And with great expectations, responsibilities, and accountability is always there on the table. I have JD from DC. Appreciate you. Bring on Dallas Cowboys. Temu Scab Games. Oh, my gosh. Shout out to you, King. Thank you. Member for 14 months. Thank you for Level Civil 1. Appreciate you. I wonder if Dak Prescott can play left tackle. I see JD from DC. But neither here nor there. Outside of what this offense became this season, we can talk about the levels of success versus not being successful or unsuccessful. Is this team successful as it relates to their offense? I can tell you the receiving core improved. We saw that. The running game, the scheme improved. We saw that. The quarterback play improved or stayed the same, however you want to look at that. And the offensive line. We had some highs, and then we had some major lows with this offensive line. We had some big gaping holes as it relates to the tackle parts of it. We can go back and look at those type of things, right? Seabass says, Law, I promise my psychiatrist or diatribe over Kenneth Murray is not over. I don't know. Seabass, put that back in there again. And I don't know what you said. Here's the thing. It's a conundrum, right? It's a conundrum. We can look at Matthew Eberflus and say, hey, he's a horrible defensive coordinator, right? And then we can look at the players and say, hey, damn, Kyer Elam was a horrible player, right? It's not like you got tons of awards and trophies hung up for even Kenneth Murray, right? So we can look at those things, right? We can literally say to ourselves, man, we've been rattled with all types of things, even from a loss of a loved one on this team, right? So we've been hit with any blow that you can think of. And quite frankly, it's one of those things that, hey, it just goes with the territory. But the best person that I thought that had the best terminology on all of this was the Godfather. And I'm going to see if I can pull up his video. I'm going to see if I can find his video, because I think that he kind of broke it down to a point that we can all understand, right? And shout out to those who wanting to know what I'm referring to. And let me see if I can pull this up before we go down that road, okay?
All right, guys.
Here it is right here.
What's next for us? I see the whole Eberflus should be fired thing start to swell, and that's what we do. Every year, I used to say this all the time on my videos, it was like a game of Survivor. Every year when the Cowboys put out, they have to blame, it's this person's fault, that person's fault, this person's fault, and the media gets on. First it starts with the local Cowboys media gets on it, and they tell you why he was the problem, and then the fans get on why he was the problem, and then everybody comes to this consensus because of the media that we consume. Came to consensus. All the problems was because of this guy. Let's get rid of him, and everything will be fixed, and it never is fixed. That's just the cycle that we go through. So I don't know. I mean, you fire Eberflus, and you know good and well that even the head coaches in Dallas only have so much power. Maybe Eberflus couldn't get the players. Eberflus, promise me, Eberflus has a story for why he's sucking. Trust me, Eberflus.
Hey man, Shango is not lying, right? We are in a crazy spot. Point your finger like this, someone. If you point your finger like this, you got 3 pointing back at you. And when we look at the defensive coordinator, we look at it. I'm not caping for him. Okay. I'm saying that Shango is right to that point. We pin the tails on the donkey, but we refuse to look at the full donkey, right? And the full donkey, and please don't come after me, are the people that can't get fired, are the people that's doing the hiring, right? One must count the cost before they build the house. And you built your house, let's say, in Alaska, and you worrying about why it's so cold all the time. Well, you decided to move there. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be cold in Alaska, right? That's like moving to Texas and complaining about the heat. It's supposed to be hot. It's Texas. It's Texas.
Has a story. So I personally, you would want the people that are making these bad hires. If you want these people fired all the time, maybe it's the people who hired Eberflus that should be fired. But nobody can fire those guys.
Nobody can.
So where does it leave us? The next year, the offense, I mean, unless we come back, unless we, fix the energy on offense and,
Hey, J.D. Burton, man, he says, I'm in Alaska, okay. By choice, military, Or you like the cold, right? You definitely not there saying, hey, why is it cold? I want it to be hot, and I want to be able to wear shorts and all of this stuff, right? It is for what it is.
Throw a little bit more. I don't know, but the offense is going to be good enough still. Even if we don't have Pickens, the offense still should be good enough. On the defensive side of the ball, we got a lot of stuff. We got defensive tackles, but we pretty much need everything else now. So it's like, you remember we used to have a decent defense and no defensive tackles. Now we got defensive tackles and
no everything.
overshown. And that's pretty much our thing. And so I don't know where we go from here. I don't know. I don't see, and that's why I was like, Dak should have left. even the people that were like I think it was Colin Cowherd that were like turned into some different all season, going, Dak is good. Dak is top. This is Dak. Dak is this. You immediately made a video. You should cut ways with Dak. So Dak should have left the whole circus. But
no doubt. Galvin says they pay people to move to work in Alaska, but not by force. You see, not by force. And if you getting paid to move to Alaska and you getting remunerations, that means that there's no room for you to complain about it, especially if you're getting paid for it, right? You see, the difference is that I remember rooting for this team before Jerry Jones bought the team, right? So I was a fan of this team way before Jerry bought the team. So technically, emotionally, I'm bought in. Financially, he's bought in because he had the millions of dollars, right? You know, our people come from rock bottom, right? But that's neither here nor there. What I'm getting at is that the finite reasons of all of this is Jerry, right? And we know it's Jerry and Steven. And they can be right in control of all of this if they just step back. They still will get the fame. The owners still get the credit when you win the Super Bowl. When you win multiple playoffs, people will give the owner credit. But it goes to this point, I'd rather get it my way. I want to do it my way. Right? That's just for what it is. This whole thing for 30 years, 30 seasons been an ego pool, right? A pool or a tug at the ego. Like, for those who got their own home or what have you, and you're in control of it, right? If you're the head of the household, you in control of your home. I control the thermostat here, right? No, the kids don't. So if it's set for 72 year round, it's set for 72. There's nothing that they can do about it. They can complain about it until they get out of it and get their own, or they can adhere to the rules of what I bestowed upon them. So it goes a little bit like that, right? and what I'm saying is Jerry Jones controlled the thermostat for the Cowboys. He got it set. And now we're saying, hey, the temperature for the offense is right, but the temperature for the defense, hey, man, you need to change that, man. You need to move that. You need to move it back to 72 at least, man. And Jerry, even though we may cry out to get those things moved, it's up to him, right? So that's where we're at. I'm trying to use analogies so that people can understand that this is what we're dealing with. Because any other organization, franchise, when the thermostat is not where it's set to be, then that person that controlling that thermostat, the GM, the manager, can get fired, right? He'd be getting up out of here. You know, this joker had this thing set to 52. You know, he had it set to 60 at the bottom.
But I don't see anything that we can do in his window, like in the next 2 or 3 years. I don't see nothing we can do to make ourselves like one of the better teams in the league. We might can get ourselves back in the playoffs. But right now, we're out of the playoffs. That's what our team is. Average, out of the playoffs. So it is what it is.
No doubt, man. That's the OG, man. Shango, the originator. The one that that got us all going, moving and grooving for the most half of it. Yeah. And I agree with his sentiments here. because everybody will have a story, right? I got a story to tell, and the story to tell is Matt Eberflus. My thing is, even if he had the kind of caliber of players, my biggest thing would be I didn't like the way he didn't make the adjustments with the few. I read somewhere that if you're faithful over a few things, I make you ruler over many. So what happens when you were not faithful over a few things and now all of a sudden you got many? I don't like that. I want somebody that you can bring in, and even though your star-studded players are gone, you still play scrappy. You still play through the echoes of the whistle. You still don't feel like you're missing a beat. And we've seen it from week to week. We've seen it even with the Detroit Lions, even though they lost the other night, I believe. But we still saw that when Branch got hurt and got knocked out, they still showcased some levels of skill sets. We even seen that even though the matchup wasn't like it's supposed to be with the Minnesota Vikings, you really can't really comb through there and say, hey, that's a household name. That's a household name. But they were still able to get things moving and grooving. 1758. Law, you're off on that one. If you're on the house, the kids are paying the mortgage and the bills, and the house should have control, the thermostat, or at least have to say what the temperature is. If I'm owning a house, right, and you're saying that the kids are paying the mortgage and bills, then they should have control. Nah, kids not paying mortgage and bills. Here's how it works. I'm the owner of the house, and I'm supposed to set the rules, set the table, set the culture, set the moment, and set everything so it can be accustomed for them. If the kids leave the lights on, if they keep the water running longer than what it's supposed to be, at the end of the day, the building company, the light company, the mortgage company, or to a degree, the water company, they would not bill the kids. They're going to still bill me because I'm the owner, right? I'm the sole custody of everything. Everything stops with me. Everything starts with me. And that's how it is. So even though if I can't set those rules correctly, then it comes back to me. I will hold all of the blame, and I will hold all of the success. And that's how it's supposed to be. In leadership and management and all of this stuff, one of the things that we all uncover when you go to business law school and all of this stuff, it states that getting work done through others, right? And that's one of the things, delegations, that's one of the things that you have to do, Jerry, is getting work done through others, and stop stepping into the side, stepping into the spotlight saying that look at the things I've done, and disregarding the things that you should be doing is stepping away and allowing football people to do football operations. Right now, teams that are trying to win now, they're burning through tape. General managers, if you pull them to the side, you ask them, hey, who's number 59? What he can do, what he can't do, what he will be able to do, and can he fit your particular scheme that you're trying to do? And they supposed to be able to, yeah. 1758 must don't pay bills. Yeah. But appreciate y'all, man. No. This is not me at my guy 1758. This is just a casual conversation. But we're going to move into this part of it. We're going to talk about Trayvon Diggs. Shout out to him. Kudos and credence to him. We had someone to speak out for him, and her name is Jane Slater. She said she talked to Trayvon Diggs today, and he wants to be able to tell his side of the story. Now, if you ever heard Trayvon Diggs speak, he's not a very outspoken guy. I think that he tried to articulate his word to a good degree, but he's more of a soft-spoken fella, right? But when he do chop, you can hear him chopping his bit. But as it relates to Jane Slater, she said she spoke to him. Let's listen to what she had to say about it.
Yeah, Judy and Brian, there are two sides to every story, and we really haven't talked to Trayvon Diggs yet, and I wanted to make it clear I did talk to him today, and I want to clear some things up. There have been a lot of rumors about how Trayvon Diggs got injured at home. After speaking with him, I think it's really important that I put this out there. His version is far less nefarious than some of the rumors that have been floating around on the internet, and it's affecting him. And to some extent, he wants that he, Brian Schottenheimer, and Matt Eberflus discussed his mistakes in practice and cover two.
Super chat.
At 17:58 game $5. What I'm saying is if it wasn't for us fans pumping our money and our eyeballs into this team, they would not be in business.
Yeah, true that. But it's not just the fans. They making their money based off of law, of the principles of supply and demand. There are more casual fans than there are diehard fans. The TV deals, the impressions that they get from those particular dollars are more than what us fans bring to the table, believe it or not. We can say, yeah, us fans feel as if though it's been 30 years, 30 seasons. But if you poll 100 Cowboys fans, about 10 of them are diehards. And then out of the 10, 5 of them will be willing to boycott, right? But even out of the 5, if you do the 5 that's going to be willing to boycott, they already made their money from Amazon deals and the Netflix deal. Cowboys are like a global brand that's in the best spot possible because of Jerry Jones' marketing ability to get his information and noticeable and to get those things out there. So it is for what it is. It's the TV dollars, man. And those deals are pretty much baked in because of the reverence of the Cowboys, because of those abilities. And that's just for what it is. And then you got hate watchers, right? Shoot, Eagles. Boy, I'm from Mississippi. And growing up, there was like only Cowboy fans, a few 49er fans, and maybe some Steeler fans in Mississippi. We didn't have a professional football team. But as I got older, I realized, man, that now since the Cowboys haven't been winning, now all of a sudden they Saints fans. I'm sitting here saying that little run that the Atlanta Falcons had, they Atlanta Falcons fans. And I'm saying like, man, I remember back in 3rd grade, dog, you used to rock with the Cowboys, man. Nah, man, I'm a diehard Saints fan. Man, I wish we had social media back in my days, But I get the notion, right? But it is for what it is. We are a historic raised franchise that got a wealth of knowledge and wisdom and history and great storylines, man, from my guy Roger Staubach to Tony Hill. Boy, we got, man, Hollywood, that storyline. Like, people fail to realize Hollywood Henderson was like the first athletic linebacker that can do punt returns, kickoff returns, hit the lottery twice, man, and man, doing all type of stuff, man. That was in the early 80s, man. Number 56. We got all type of crazy storylines, man, to tell. They can resell. That's before Jerry got here too, by the way. That's crazy. But it is for what it is. It's the historic references that would never go away, that other teams can only think about being in the shadows of that, right? Like whoever, like people take a dump on Dak Prescott, which I get it, right? But imagine the next quarterback when it's all said and done for Dak. That quarterback got some shoes to fill, because immediately they're going to either compare that quarterback for his first few years to Dak, which is going to be hard to do. His rookie year is going to be hard to do. And then they're going to compare him to Tony Romo. Then they're going to compare that person to Troy Aikman. Then they're going to try to compare that person to to Roger Staubach, even Danny White. So normally when you go to a team, like say for the Ravens, they don't have that long stretch of like quarterbacks to a point. like for example, what's the guy named one of the better throwers of the ball, plays for Cincinnati. And his name is Joe. His last name is Burrow, I believe, right? Who they got over there? Boomer Esiason? They don't have no legacy. They don't have no greats there. You get what I'm saying? And he's not on the full cycle of being in the news. Can they get things done? This is going into his third season missing the playoffs consecutively, right? Or they gonna? I think the Bengals going to miss the playoffs. They get a full pass. Nobody's yelling out like, hey, can he stay healthy? He's always hurt. He's injury prone. He can't win the big ones. They're not going to mention that. He's not heavy with the pressure of living and walking in the shadows. What, they got Carson Palmer's? That's who his shadows is. Andy Dalton. It's not even close. Not even close for those levels of expectations. Buffalo went to 5 Super Bowls straight, I think, and this is from Elbert. Yeah. And Jim Kelly was the man over there. Drew Bledsoe was the man over there. Still don't hold a candle. So that guy, Josh Allen, the levels of expectation for them never will be the same like us. Shout out to Kenny Anderson. He was good. But now if you compare Kenny Anderson to Staubach and Troy, and you know what I'm saying? Kenny Anderson, Kenny was good, you know. Yeah. Burrow was hurt 3 out of the last 6 seasons. Yeah. Boomer Esiason, baby.
This week said as much, saying, quote, Diggs has a very unique way he continues to play on the team. He'll go away from the scheme to make a great play, and when he doesn't make that play, you can have a bad play. Now, Diggs also concedes his talents at corner may not be his strengths in cover 2, but he tells me he's working on it and wants to be here. With effort and communication, perhaps this gets fixed, but right now they are working with guys like Savone Ravel and Kalen Carson as they look to the future because for all intents and purposes at this point, to fit here and find his path. Message there is gone, so I think it's important that we bring some of this up.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Because here's what it is. So you mean to tell me, I think that hurts the situation even more. So you don't know how to adapt to fit the scheme, or the coach don't know how to put the player's strength and move that out of the way of the scheme. Like, it's like equivalent, and I'm using this only as an analogy, Cowboys Nation. It's like having Shaq and you want him to be a perimeter player, outside perimeter player. And you saying, yeah, I know that he can be dominant down inside, but I want him to fit my scheme and my version of what I want him to do. So I'm going to continue to put him at that part instead of playing him at his strength. Or it's kind of like having Steph Curry and saying, you know what, I don't want you to shoot on the outside perimeters. Right? I want you down low inside the paint. I want you to crash the board. You know, I want you to fit that thing that I want to do. Instead of utilizing your players where they're strong at, right? That's the whole point of mix matching and all of this stuff with defense. Why do team blitz? Because they don't have the ability to win the one-on-ones. So that's why you blitz. That's the whole point and reasons why you blitz. I'm going to send more than they can block, and I'm going to play the numbers game. Because I know for sure, even though we may be outmatched as far as height and stature and skill set, but I can still at least send a blitz. I may give up 30 yards one time. I get it. That's the price of doing business. But I might connect. But here's what I can't do. I can't play it safe and still give up those 30 yards without the opportunity, right, to at least harass the quarterback. Yeah. And it is for what it is. Coaching's supposed to be able to look at that. And there are some people that you will have to coach around. And those are tendencies and things that you had to pick up and traits. There are some basketball players, I'm using basketball as an analogy, they can't drive left. They can't finish left. That they tend to, once the ball get to their left side, they looking to pass. So coaches look into that and say, man, but when they go right, they're very dominant. Man, they're slasher. Man, I want to be able to get them inside to score real quickly. They do have their weaknesses. But I'm going to play to the strength and not say, hey, I want to be so gung-ho on being right, the need to be right, whereas instead of me utilizing the skill set that they have, let me just put them on the bench. Richard says blitzing is like rolling the dice. All right? And there's some good dice rollers in here, right? So I'm like, come on with it, come on. Come on, that's a good. Damn. Yeah. Some good dice rollers in here. Indeed. Dallas have the same standard as the Lakers. We have to be great, point blank, period. David, yep. Dallas have the same perceived standard, right? Whereas the Lakers, to a degree, they're not stronghold like we are or the Cowboys are, right? So it is for what it is. Unfortunately, it is for what it is at this juncture of being like that. Dallas also have the Dallas is more visible than the Lakers. Not like the Lakers, and Dallas is more visible than the New York Yankees. And I like the Yankees. I'm not saying I'm a Yankees fan, but I like the historic reference, Derek Jeter and all of them boys, right, back in the days. But what I'm getting at is that Dallas is the creme de la creme. And when you do have those type of things, some people take jobs here so that they can be on those high platforms. And just because they are medias of the Cowboys don't mean that they are fans of the Cowboys, right? So they're trying to get clicks, views. They're trying to create chaos. They're trying to create controversy. And you get all of those things as it relates to being for the Cowboys. And this is what George Pickens is understanding.
Had its ups and downs, but how would you evaluate the last 2 weeks offensively?
I feel like super good as well as far as dominating and playing physical. But like I said once before, just execution, just trying to do that at a high level.
Shotty's talked a lot about these last 3 weeks, still, taking it with the same urgency and trying to win. But what's kind of the message been behind the scenes there?
Well, kind of the same thing, honestly. Just being urgent, trying to execute faster on a higher level, just to get back in our groove.
George, you obviously took a lot of criticism after the Lions game. What was that like from your perspective, just to see all the people kind of talking about your effort and all that?
I'm kind of more focused on the Chargers, honestly, just this following week. Just knowing that they're a 10-4 group, knowing that play physical, got a lot of good defensive guys.
Derwin James and Tony.
Now, you see how he kind of skirted off from there? That's a good kid, man. Media trained. I'm telling y'all, man. Yeah. Shout out to Pooh Shiesty, man. I saw his video on $1 million worth of game. You know what I'm saying? I need to invite him to the podcast. Maybe he'll give me one of them Louis Vuitton bags and stack of papers, But neither here nor there. This guy right here is media trained. He is. Because when you look at what he just said, they try to trap him a little bit. Talk to me about, the last 2 games that you had struggles with, right? And he said, no, man, I'm focusing on, the Chargers. They're a 10-4 team. We're trying to see what we can do to bring our best to the table, right? Whereas they try to get them. They try to get them real quickly and say, hell yeah, I'm mad about not being able to get more than a 34 yards or 50 yards. I want more targets. I need more connections here, No, he didn't go that way. And the Cowboys, boy, we can have a hero one week and then a zero really quickly the next week, Yeah.
Tony Jefferson. What stands out on tape about those two guys?
Like I said, physical. Been watching them a lot, like the run fit. I know Derwin likes to play more around the box now, later in his career. So we're just trying to fill voids and get to our routes with speed.
Has there anything the last couple of weeks been consistently what you've seen that's kind of led to your production not being what it was earlier?
Oh, yeah, just double coverage.
Yeah, that double coverage get you all the time.
That simple. Just double coverage. Like I said, offensively, all we can do is just try to execute at a high level, depending on, no matter what that is.
Later in the season, like
No doubt. Galvin State's basketball fandom is completely different from football culture altogether, honestly. Yeah. I think both cultures adapted the ring culture, right? Like you got to have a ring to be great and all of this stuff. You don't have one, you're not validated. And, who have the most rings? People talk about Bill Russell and all of this stuff versus Jordan. Who's the real GOAT? LeBron James versus Jordan, or LeBron James versus Kobe. In my opinion, it's still Michael Jordan and then Kobe or what have you. But I get it, right? You're gonna have the arguments in basketball, right? And a team is not in basketball is you better go get you an all-star team with all of these weapons and stuff like this, so that you can get that ring, right? I was watching Carmelo on his podcast, and I said, damn, would love for him to have one, but basketball culture is like you said, is a whole lot different than football. Football is more of you got a teaspoon of games, right? And you only play once a week, and you got to wait that whole week in order to get your lick back, right? Whereas basketball, baseball, and all of those other collective sports, they play more games and they have less people. Football, you have literally 53 people that you have overhead with, and it is crazy. George says, who's your team when it comes to baseball, Law? I don't have a baseball team. Just don't really have a baseball team. And then I just wasn't the baseball type of guy. I wasn't one of the baseball type of guy. But yeah, I don't. So I like the Rangers since I'm in Texas. Shout out to the Rangers. I ain't gonna turn down no free tickets now. Come on with it. So shout out to 6 and 7, right? Yeah, basketball criticism doesn't hit until the playoff starts. Ooh, said you're right. Because they got so many dang on games, man. They got so many games, and when you get into the series, you sit there and look and say to yourself, all right, cool. But to be fair, that's why people, they love that college basketball. Yeah, March Madness. You win and you end, right? It's no series and all of this stuff. Hey, you win, you continue to go. And that's just how it is. When you do the best out of 3, I think football would have been different if you do the best out of 3. But football, they saved this one good thing about the football postseason that's still relevant and still the best, even though they try to water it down. It's the sudden death attitude, right? You win, you continue to live. You die when you lose, right? Your season is deceased. But what I would do, Jared said Will Chamberlain is the GOAT of all basketball. I agree. This is what I would do, though. If Jerry really was with the mindset of win at all costs, if he really had adopted that mindset, win at all costs, and if he stepped down from his, I want to say, egotistical ways, when that postseason hit, he ought to do some mean And I'm telling you, some mean Jedi stuff, just like they do to us. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We all know that we need to have a defensive coordinator. This is finna get into the meat of this conversation. We all know we need a defensive coordinator. And one of the damn things that I hate with all capital letters is when we get to the postseason, people start picking up phones and calling us and disrupting us and distracting us, right? We ought to play that same game. We ought to, when the postseason hit, we need to be on the phone because you know nobody stirs up more attention than the Cowboys, and we need to be interviewing everybody who had a top-tier defense. Yeah. So, for an example, Lions make it somehow sneak into the postseason, we need to be on the phone saying, hey, we want to bring in that brother. Yeah, that Tyrone over there. Yeah, he need to come on over here for an interview. And who else got some top-tier defenses that's going to the postseason? We need to be on the phone, calling them up and throwing them off of their rockers as it relates to interviewing for a defensive coordinator job here in Dallas. Yeah, so even if it's still those funky Eagles, yeah, I'll pick up the phone and say, yeah, man, I want to interview the D-line coach there. I want to interview the linebackers coach. Yeah, for a possibility of a defensive coordinator job. Yeah, I'll play some mean domino. Yeah. Aaron Glenn, when he gets fired, yeah. I think Aaron Glenn got 3 years. He got 3 years there. He better win next season, though. You better win next season. Aaron Glenn, and they got a lot of draft picks, too. The Jets, yeah. Yeah, I'm calling San Fran again, yeah. Hey, San Fran, what's up? I'm calling all of those boys. Y'all should have told me I had some food in my beer. Yeah. What? It's on now. Yeah. Y'all wasn't looking out for me. Y'all say, hey, Law, you got food particles in your beer, man. Calling San Fran again. Vince Joseph, absolutely. Calling the Texans. You know, somebody put in there, let me make sure this is still accurate. Appreciate y'all so much. Thank you, Richard. We Browns. Hold on. Yeah. This will be my first phone call right here. Richard says, Law, keep up the great work. Do I think Jerry would get rid of Matt? He should. But you know who I would want? Who's the defensive coordinator for the Browns? Yeah, even though they 3-11, it's crazy how they got the number 2 ranked defense in the National Football League. Don't you know how good that damn defense got to be when your offense is that skid marked bad at being the bottom of the league, 32nd? That means that there's a lot of 3-and-outs. There's a lot of time that your defense is out there. And I get it, they have Myles Garrett, but you can't think of other people outside of Ward on that defense. And so I'm thinking that the Cowboys, that's the first person. If you ain't ranked top 5, you ain't getting the first phone call for the first week. I'm calling from whoever had the number 1 defense. I'm calling it the number 2 defense, the number 3, the number 4. And if Jerry knows what Jerry's supposed to know, that there's no salary cap as it relates to coaching, man, call the Browns, man. Call them boys all the way up. Jim Schwartz. I'm calling Jim Schwartz, and I'm giving him, I'm doubling whatever Brown's giving him, and I'm giving him better weather, right? I'm giving him sunshine, Texas. I know some people love the cold up there, but I'm giving you the city of Dallas. I'm giving you international airport. You don't have to wait forever. You can fly to the Bahamas, to Cabo. You can do all of the stuff you need to do. All I'm praying to God is that you can get us to be number 2. And we can boogie from there. Don't y'all know that technically we've been we've been having some terrible defenses. You can name on your hand, one hand, since 19 of 96 how many times we were ranked number one in defense, right? And I think it was the Campo years. It was probably in the top five. Let's do top five. Campo years, little pieces of Parcells and little particles of pieces with Wade Phillips. And that's about it. That's about it. Whereas the Browns, year in and year out, they number one defense. Look, Browns, look, we can't give y'all our offense, but damn it, we can definitely take care of your problems on defense, meaning that give me Schwartz, man. He's wasting time and space and elements there, right? yeah, give me Schwartz. And his contract might be up. And by the way, you can always trade for defensive coordinators, man. Trade them, if they don't want to budge, if he's still under a contract. Come on. Give me Schwartz. Yes, indeed. I'll call Flores. We don't know anybody on their defense, and they just played 5 days ago. Yeah. Yeah. Only person we know is Jonathan Allen because he used to be great, right? Training camp in Oxnard can't beat all weather. Come on, Schwartz. Yes, indeed. Yes. Yes, he says the 100 grand says the Browns can't block it because it's a lateral move. Well, once his and appreciate you 100 grand, you can always request for a trade for him. And even though it's a lateral move, if he's the defensive coordinator for, I'm talking about for the Browns. I'm well aware of that rule there. But if his contract is up, he's free agent. There's no salary cap as it relates to that. And then on top of that, the other way that they can finagle and finesse, hey, Jim Schwartz, we worked out a deal, man, with Schottenheimer. We finna make you the assistant head coach here / defensive coordinator. You can give combo play rules with that, and they can't block that because that would be considered a promotion, right? And I'm just trying to, skirt around the rules. And what the Browns want to hold on to him for, you know what I'm saying? They ain't doing that. I know, I'm just messing with y'all. But, shoot, they got the second-ranked defense, man. I would for sure figure out a way to finagle and finesse to get him here, right? One of the other things that I want to bring up, let me see if I still have it in my queue here. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for jumping in. Appreciate you. Make sure I got that.
At the Star, I'm doing my Cowboys column for WFAA today, dropping in a short time about Jerry Jones putting Matt Eberflus, the Cowboys defensive coordinator, on notice that he needs to be impressive in these next 3 games, these last 3 games, where the Cowboys could be hiring their 4th defensive coordinator in 4 seasons this offseason. Well, how much blame does Jerry Jones as owner and general manager deserve for the roster and the trades and all of the other things that have complicated the defensive performance this year?
Well, here's the thing, though. After the Chargers, we got the Washington and New York. We can beat Washington and New York by 50 points. It won't mean anything because it'd be hard to evaluate them. And especially when you have 4 back there, 4 in his entirety of his career only lost about 2 or 3 games from all of those teams combined. I'm talking about Washington and as well the damn Giants. So it won't be a deal for us to say, yeah, you know what? Shout out to Matt Eberflus for holding these boys to 10 points or something like that. And it's the Washington team or it's the Giants. Now, to a point, to a degree, the Chargers are the Chargers. But didn't they barely beat the Chiefs? Didn't they beat the Chiefs by what, 3 points, 2 points, something like that? I forgot. Or didn't they just recently play the Eagles, right? And they beat them. So it's like, what are we doing right here? I don't think that would be the best elixir for us to say, yeah, man, Matt Eberflus should be deserving to be here because of what he did overall in games that we can recall that he had good moments was the Raiders, the Chargers, if we can do that, the Washington Giants. Can we really use that? I don't think we can. One of the things that I want to say, when we look at it, hindsight is 2020 right now. What was Eberflus' best coached game? Outside of the Raiders, probably, right? What was his best coach game? You can argue the Eagles and the Chiefs, but what is his best coach game? I want to know. Yeah. I want to know from you all down in the chat. And I got one of my guys who went over some things that I want to bring up and pull up.
And with that save.
Hey, let me see if I can pull this up. He got blew out. Kobe, shout out to you, man. The Jets. That was his best game, defensively speaking. The Jets. All right, so the Jets. I'm gonna pull up the schedule. Hold on, man. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Yeah. Let me go. Cowboys. Yeah, I'm going to go schedule well. Oh, hold on. Give me 1 second here. Cowboys schedule. We're going to do this. And we freestyling right now. We just freestyling, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate y'all. Because I didn't give y'all any live show earlier today. And we freestyling. So y'all, we need to thank these guys for us being live right now.
Sleeper is the #1 fantasy sports app. It pays to know sports. Pick more or less on top players. Your first pick is on us, so start winning now. Play in Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, and 27 more states. Pick anytime across all sports, pregame or live. Over 10 million players are already on Sleeper. Make your picks count. Score up to 1,000 times your cash. Join today, get up to $100 credit using code LAW. Call your shot on Sleeper. Download now.
No doubt, download Sleeper, use code LAW, that's law, and $20 from me to you will be added to your app. And then on top of that, you get a chance to, when you deposit $100, they will match it up to $100. Yeah, and that's all brought to you by Sleeper. And I got the schedule right here. I'm looking at it. The Jets scored 22 on us. Damn. I guess our lowest defensive game on points allowed this year was the Raiders, okay? If I'm looking at this correctly, right? Damn. This is rough right here. This is rough. This is tough and rough sledding here. Oh, all right. Our best defensive game this year would have to be with the AI speak.
At Everett Chavez, $8.19.99. What can we expect from the Cowboys next year, honestly speaking? And what positions should be an absolute need in order to have a better year?
That's a loaded gun. What kind of gun he shooting at me, y'all? I know that's not a 38. Boy, that's a 45 or something, you know, you shooting at me, man. Cutting down trees. A pessimistic person will say more of the same. More of the same, right? The solution provider person or person that's going to look at the brighter picture, glass half full versus half empty, will honestly expect for us to be better. Like, these are the things that we should have established here. The running game concept should be cemented in, right? I think the Cowboys are going to go into this particular offseason, not just draft, because I know somebody going somebody going to lose their mind if they say that the Cowboys drafting another offensive lineman, right? It just for the for the antics of it, somebody may lose their mind, right? But what I expect is for us to finally look at this team and say, okay, let's secure the holes and not 304s. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the holes on this team. And we got a lot of holes. But let's secure the holes that you know for sure that you can secure real good. We know our wide receiver room should be sealed. You can pay George Pickens. We already did the math on that. So your wide receiver room should be good. Your tight end room, you made your bed with Jake Ferguson. Your tight end room should be solid. You don't need another tight end unless Kyle Pitts from Atlanta say, hey, I got caught with a gun under the seat and did some crazy stuff and I want to go to the Cowboys type of thing, right? But neither here nor there. We should be good on tight ends. We don't need no tight ends. Our offensive line and run game are two things that we need to consider. What I'm hesitant a little bit on Javonte Williams is, will he be able to run that back? Now, I just seen Saquon Barkley had a remarkable year. Unbelievable. And then he's like a shell of himself this season. So I don't know with the Javonte Williams. But what I would do with Javonte Williams is still empower him somehow and just add to. Don't take him away. Hear me out, ladies and gentlemen. Don't take away Javonte Williams. Just look at your roster and say, hey, we got Malik Davis. I like what he could do. We got the Jadon Blue kid. We got Maffa. Let's just add to him, to my Javonte Williams. And now you got all of those areas secured, and now let's revisit this offensive line this offseason. What I would do, instead of trying to draft and develop a damn offensive lineman, I will go across the landscape. I will find me a good tackle, and I know this is me hopefully wishing for a good tackle to fall off a tree and land here in Dallas, but I'm quite sure if you can't find that good tackle, whip out the wallet, Jerry, and trade for one. Don't try to go through this thing and try to develop and draft and all of this crap. Just find you a good tackle. You may have to trade, you might have to give some draft capital for it. Find you a good tackle, and your offense will be complete. You done secured all of the holes on your offense. Your wide receiver room is straight. Your tight end room is straight. Your running back game is straight. You good. We filled that up. Now, the defense, you're going to have to do that extreme total home makeover thing, right? We need players on every single layer. We need a safety. We need another linebackers. We need some more DBs that can fit this scheme or system or whatever you may need in this particular juncture. And you need an edge rusher. One can argue that you're going to have to make a decision with Kenneth Clark because he's due $20 million, right? So you're going to have to make a decision. So it is you got to roll your sleeve up to solidify this damn defense. So my expectations should be playoff bound. That's my expectations, right? My expectations every year, believe it or not, I want us to say our main goal is to win the Super Bowl. Everything else is allegory. Everything else is a story within the story, right? So that's how I look at it. Shout out to you, Ever. Thank you for becoming a member. So that's what I'm looking at. It was a point that I wanted to make too. Let me see if I can pull that point out on defense. Oh yeah, this is the other point. This is the cherry. This is the cherry that we all have to make sure that it's on top of everything. This is how my granddaddy used to do this. When my granddaddy did this, and he started doing like this, yeah. You know that he mean business. Get your ass out there and cut that damn yard. That's what he used to say, cut that damn yard. And when he do that, let me tell y'all something. Cowboys, Jerry Jones, don't you do this. Don't you get too close to this draft and don't have you a damn defensive coordinator. Because what you want to do now is you want to start that processing now. You got to start rolling that sleeve up now so that these guys can really get people that they know that can fit their scheme and system. So don't wait too late. Don't wait till that last hour to fire Matt Eberflus. If you gonna move on from Matt Eberflus, fire him now. Well, wait till the season. If you want to be faithful to him and all of this stuff, wait till the last game of the season and all of that. And then you go get you a defensive coordinator that can go and roll their sleeves up, look at all of the college tape, sit down and evaluate what they already have here on this team, and they can get to work. That's what they need to do. That's what they Steve says, my dad told you, did he look like this? Get your the mamas be nice on you, Baby, he cut his hand and he got a headache. Get you a Band-Aid and some aspirin and cut that damn grass. Yeah, y'all know y'all had some dads like that, some granddads.
At Keith Shep, $20 for the late night grind. Great show.
Appreciate you, Keith. Appreciate you. Now get your
yeah, on paper.
Yeah, it's something about that shaking of the head, Yeah. But that's my thoughts on it. Go and make sure you get your defensive coordinator early, so he can go ahead and blend with Shoddy. And here's another thing. It hit me too when I was checking the mailbox earlier today. It hit me, and what I think that what Jerry he got all of the right intentions, and Grandma and them used to say there's people in hell with right intentions, right? So I think that Jerry creates small micro chaoses, because when you're leading a team and you the owner of the team and you give the strength and the power to your head coach, then allow your head coach to pick his own staff, man, so that he know for sure that he don't have to watch his back. And that's one of the problems that we've been having here, man. If you really think about it, like Bill Parcells, even when he was here, he was forced with Mike Zim, right? And Mike Zim turned out well, right? But still, Bill Parcells had to literally be like, hey, I don't know if this man going to shank me with the butter knife or not, right? And then when Wade Phillips got here, he was forced with Jason Garrett. Like these are the same things that's happening. Jason Garrett was getting paid the same amount of money that Wade Phillips was making, right? And then Jerry didn't learn from that. He didn't learn from there. When Mike McCarthy got here, he was forced to have Kellen Moore, right? So we sitting here like, man, come on, man. We just want to see Mike, man, run his system, run his philosophy, run his principles, get a clean sheet of paper so that he can have – now, Mike did drop the ball with Mike Nolan, but that's a whole nother conversation, right? That's a whole nother conversation. In principle, we get why he did it, but in theory, he shouldn't have did it, though. Mike McCarthy should have said, Mike Nolan, you my dog. I'm glad that you look out for me. But, man, I don't get this opportunity like this every so often, man. I'm going to have to let you go, bro. But you can always be a consultant. You can always have my number. I got you, bro. I'm going to throw you some bread here and there. But, man, I can't have you being a DC, bro. You got to do those things. So if I hit it big, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm going to come back and say, hey, Sky, I got you. Hey, Vacha, got you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Big Game James, I got you. Hey, Boss Cowboys, Sportsman, I got you, But there's going to be some people I pull to the side and say, hey, man, you my dog, bro. But I can't. The way these thing is setting up, I just can't have you right here, right now. Not right now. Come on, West Coast, you my boy, man. You know what I'm saying? We go roll one off camera, but you rolling on camera. Oh, I'm just playing with you. But y'all get what I'm saying. Some people, you just gonna have to just pull them to the side and say, hey, man, you my dog, man. Come on, man. You killing me. But I'm gonna have to let Twin get the job instead, though. All right, so, and we seeing it now. Schottenheimer and Matt Eberflus. Like, Jerry, look at this kid. You've been talking all of this glowing stuff about him, and you're going to force Matt Eberflus. So on one end, you just don't know. He might have him a little knife on the side, shanking him in the back. We don't know. He probably be looking at this thing and saying, you got him over me? I was here when Rob Brown was here. I was here when Tony and them was here, man. You going to do this to me? You going to hire that young kid over me? You going to do this to me? I'm Matt Eberflus, man. You going to do this to me? That's what he's doing. I got to whisper because my voice carrying it's nighttime. But y'all get what I'm saying. Like, let this kid pick his own staff, man. He been doing all of this good stuff and everything. And don't lie to us. Don't be lying to us saying, yeah, man, Shotty really wanted Matt Eberflus. Nah, he don't even fit right. You know what I'm saying? With all of the other stuff and the antics that this dude be doing, So that's just what I'm saying. Let's get it right with that. Secondary look unpredictable. Feel you lost. Feel you. Jerry spend some of that money and get a good defensive coordinator. Yeah. And we had a winning season with those coaches. Yeah. Antonio Field, General Pierce, Al Harris, Ball Hawk Harris as defensive coordinator. Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't. I do like the way they command and control the room to a point and to a degree. I do like that aspect. Matt Eberflus didn't know who was the head coach when he got here. When he was hired. Yeah, that's crazy, ain't it? Like Matt, who's gonna be the head coach? I don't know, but I got a job, man. I thank you, Jerry. Appreciate you, man. Hey, Mama Eberflus. Hey, come on, move everything back to Dallas. I'm back in Dallas now. What about special teams coach Swarson? He had a bad reputation in 49ers land, from my brother was telling me. We can't just fire everybody, right? I know we would love to probably fire everybody every year. He's middle of the pack. It's not like we're ranked 14th, 15th in special teams. Could we be better? Yeah. Did we have some horrible assignments? Yeah. But what we're seeing in live form is the difference between Bone Fossil and Swarson. I remember people were pissed off at Bones, right? Bone was the ultra-aggressive guy. Now, that one little fake field goal thing that Swarson did this year, Bones would have did that thing about 30 times this year, especially by losing the way we've been losing. Bones would have figured out a way to pull a rabbit out of the hat. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Swarson, bring him back for another cup of coffee. The only person that I'm willing to get rid of right now would be the defensive coordinator. And I don't want this fake, well, we're going to hire from within. We're going to get White Cotton to be the DC or the play caller. And it might work. White Cotton might get up here and do some crazy things. But I would prefer a whole new body, and get things moving and grooving from that aspect. Newhouse said, man, I'm firing everybody, man. Bump what Law saying. All right, we were right here, right? We were right here. We were saying which game, and I'm being honest with y'all, which game performed the best defensive-wise. I'm going to put a check mark by. I would give this game, week 1, for holding them boys to 24 points. Only big play that was really in this game was a crazy catch from that wide receiver. I forgot his name. And it was on Elam, right? Jahan Dotson. That was crazy, man. That was Hurts' best ball. All right. And I can't do Green Bay, although I like some moments that the defense was able to do. They put up 40 points. That's crazy. Washington game was a good game because Jaden Daniels played in that game. I ain't letting these Washington fans off the hook. Jaden Daniels played in that game, and we got him up out of there. This second Philadelphia game, I think we spotted them 24 points and held them guys in the second quarter to 0 points, the third quarter in 0 points, the fourth quarter in 0 points. As much as I'm mad as hell as Matt Eberflus, I got to give him a little flowers on that one, right? I didn't like we had a lot of leakage in this Kansas City game. So these are the 3 games, period. I'm not finna give him Vegas Raiders. I'm not finna give him that. He had 3 good games this season, defensively speaking. Do anybody wants to raise a question of any other thing? Because I don't see any other game that we can literally look at and say, yeah, defensive-wise, man, we did a great job, man. And we just going to we're not even going to mention the New York, man. Come on, man. They the Jets. Come on, man. And they put up 22 points on us, man. That's the 3 good games, defensively speaking. We can go back and forth with Kansas City, but, man, they had some leakage on that one. That's it. Matt Eberflus gave us 3. Now, my guy Orlando had a great point with this, and I like his delivery on this. Listen to what Orlando had to say.
Cowboys defensive coordinator named to watch, Jim Leonhard, formerly of Wisconsin, 10-year NFL vet, current NFL coach for the Denver Broncos. I really like what I'm...
Hold on. Before he goes into other conversations, I remember Jim Leonhard back in the days. I think that he would be a good piece, man. It's a good find by him. I like his skill set. Come on.
Learning about him so far, as you can see right here. A little bit about his scheme, a little bit about his background, a little bit about his coaching philosophy, a little bit about who he is aligns pretty seamlessly with the Cowboys' current defensive personnel. And that's even before we talk about big spending in free agency and 2 first-round draft picks in 2026. More to come on this.
No doubt, no doubt. So That's a name that we can look at as far as coaching here. Raw TV or Raw Talk says Jerry had a chance to draft Scatterboo. Yeah, shout out to Scatterboo. Scatterboo now will be nice. He would have been nice on this team. I hope he recover well and play well until he play us, right? The damn Giants look like they can be a threat down the season if they get a head coach. You know what? Matt Eberflus, put your name in the hat for the Giants, man. Come on, man. Let people know that it wasn't you. Come on, Matt Eberflus. I want him to be the first candidate to go to the Giants, boy. I'm going to call Bad Dog right now and say, hey, man, you need to go get Matthew Eberflus. You know, matter of fact, now don't they fool around and get can you imagine a world they get Mike McCarthy and Matt Eberflus? That'll be crazy. Yes, indeed. Newhouse says, I don't even give them that game. Oh, wow. Eberflus can take the film with him, and he got to go. Yeah, I feel you. He can go right to the Giants. I'd love to see him twice a year. Yeah. I think the Giants, as good as they are this season, as far as their scrappability, they're scrappy. They're very scrappy, and they had some injuries, man. We did too. But come on, man. Let's get this going the best way possible. A lot of the Giants, not even the Raiders, and they want him. Oh, wow. Which Eberflus take watch Eberflus take the Giants to the damn NFC Championship. That would be crazy, man. Shout out to you. All right. Sanborn is the starting Mike. Ooh, we have 1,000 yards, man. We have 1,000 yards over there. All right, so can we make the cap space work? This was a conversation from 105. Listen.
You $118 million.
Yes, yeah, let's go.
So I told you we were at negative 48. Now that means you have $70 million in cap space without really hurting yourself too much outside of Dak for the future. But now the question is this. So I got lots of money to figure it out. Do you want Pickens and Kenny Clark back?
Listen, I know the rest of America wants Pickens back. I don't necessarily need him.
Ooh, spicy.
But
we can put a pin in that because that is interesting.
And
put GP if you want Pickens back in the chat. Put 0 if you don't want him back in the chat. Put GP in the chat if you want Pickens back. Put 0 if you don't want him back. Simple.
One of the other things, too, is with all the options we have before us, the tag and trade is still one of my favorite options in this because I think he has presented a case that people would be willing to move not just a third to get him.
Okay.
So,
all right.
But
that is an intriguing whole lot.
Was a lot of GPs in there. GP, are you with me? And I want people to understand, and I want people to know that if you like tandems, it takes time for these tandems to stay available and ready, right? It takes time. How many years? And I know they haven't been winning, but from a stat wise, they're not worried about wide receivers, even though they got Burrows throwing the ball. How many years T. Higgins and Chase been playing together? And we want that. We want that here. How many years AJ and Smitty been playing together? Right. Y'all get where I'm going. Like, let's not be semi-successful one year and then blow it all up. I like Ron Flournoy. I like what CeeDee Lamb can bring, but I do not want to see a world full of expectations. Brought to you by the Cowboys, but in a world I do not want to see just CeeDee Lamb, Ryan Flournoy, and Trayshawn Holden as your 3 wide receivers for the Dallas Cowboys. ESPN News. No, I don't want that. And even though I'm not saying that will not work, by the way, but what I'm saying is manage, control the temperaments, control the elements, focus on the things that you can, and figure out a way to have GP and CD in the silver and blue. You will be able to work out a whole lot of things coming into year 2. If year 1 looked like this magically, right? Keep in mind the first 2 or 3 games, GP wasn't really like that with the Cowboys, right? They were still trying to build that rapport and continuity and all of those things. And people can argue that these last 2 games been a slide, but hey, keep this onto your mental mindset too, by the way. That we played a lot of games in a short span, and he did banged up his leg a little bit. So look, let us continue to build. Let us stop thinking that the salary cap and these sorts of things is the problem, because we all know that cap, even though people don't like when we say it's a myth and all of this stuff, but I remind you guys that there's ways you can finagle and finesse and get out of that little stuff or a little mess and still make deals, still move things around. Look, I get it. We can talk about the foreseeable future and all of this stuff. Patriots got a lot of money. Commanders got a lot of money. Cowboys, we still got a lot of money. And I know that some of this money is allocated for the 2026. That's what they're looking at right here. And it's hard to tell when you move up and you see this and you're seeing $47 million. This for 2026. But keep in mind, all of the math nerds over here and the people that jump on this thing, when I click that 2026, it's still what it is that these third-party sites like Spot Rack and Over the Cap, they don't have this calculated as it relates to what the new money will be, right? So these numbers and impressions are based off of last year's numbers and impressions. So that's why those things are net negatives. So y'all ever know when the new season league hits, then all of a sudden you say, man, some of those teams that's like at the bottom, all of a sudden get up out of the gray. I think they were out of the red. That's going to happen again. The new money haven't even hit yet. So don't focus on this. Because, yeah, we might have been 47 in the hole, the Chiefs 44, Vikings 35, Dolphins, Saints, the Browns, the Bills. Watch. They got a few triggers on there that all of a sudden it flips around and everything else will have more effective space, right? Let me see what we got. In 2028, Yeah, and these numbers haven't even been computed yet. So that's why the only thing is, the reason why the Cowboys being brought up so much about the pie, the cap, the pie, the cap, the pie, the pie, the pie, the pie, and I'm still waiting on the Rams to fall, right? We still all waiting on what they said was going to happen to the Rams, and the Ram been ramming, So I don't think that the salary cap can ever be an issue, ladies and gentlemen. Max states, can I remind you, Pierce was a dog in the league as a linebacker, and he has a Super Bowl ring. I feel you on that, Giant guy, right? I don't know. The Cowboys, there's layers of this particular situation. Layers of this situation. The layer is the Cowboys want a certain. Can I speak freely? Put a Y in the chat. Yeah, can I speak freely? As if though I'm not going to speak freely, right? As I don't be speaking freely, but can I speak freely? Yeah, Steven says yes. All you gotta do is say yes. D says yes. David says yes. All right. Yeah. And Newhouse said we need dogs, not puppies, right? Yeah. Sure. Turk says sure. There was a guy in 2000 and I believe 18. It could have been 17. I want to say 18. His name was Chris Richard. We played against the Eagles. This had to be 17 because I think Dez was out there on the field. And he ran up to the Eagles guy who was chomping at his bits, right? Dez was doing his chomping, right? And Chris Richard said, shoot, let me get up in there too. Let me get some. And he got into the face of the opposition, and he chopped his bits, and he was pulling the players back, but he was still barking. And the post game, Stephen Jones was like, yeah, we love the energy. We love all of that, but we don't want to see that again. Ever since that moment, Richard was on his short leash. The Cowboys want things to be a certain way. They don't want people to be brass and outspoken as it relates to that. Now, they let Schottenheimer get away with it because it's Schottenheimer. He's different, you know. But when Chris Richard did it, they didn't like that at all. Pierce give me that type of vibes, that type of energy, that type of command of the room. I think that his alpha male mentality is going to be so heavy that him and Shotty may get into it, right? In a good way, right? Not even a bad way. But the Joneses, they would not like it. They want things to be quiet. They want things to be buttoned up to a degree. And that's just for what it is. Unfortunately, I'm telling y'all, they don't like certain things, man. And they want you to work and operate within those things. And it's like a hidden rule or unknown rule or what have you. And it's to make the investors happy, right? They want a certain look. They got to be a certain way. And that's one of the small little issues with the boys, right? It's like, and I'm not finna call them culture vultures and all of this stuff, but they want pieces of the culture, but they don't want all of the culture, right? You get what I'm saying? Like, and I said this the other day, and I hope people don't take it the wrong way because it's not me. But what I'm saying is that basically we be having those little bitty moments, whereas the Cowboys need to read the room just a little bit better, right? And lean to the side what people really gravitate to, right? And it's not some of the things that they do, right? Sign Brian Flores ASAP, I feel you. You can't win with pass defense, with a passive defense. I feel you. Shout out to you, Sadiq. Appreciate you. You're never late. You're on time. You're right on time, Sadiq. I was reading somewhere, and I watched pieces of my guy Koye intro on his video today. Didn't get a chance to hear it all. You know, had some family things that I was taking care of. And on his video, he was talking about, let's look at the Cowboys on how they are able to stop the run since they got the emergence of the merger of Quentin Williams and all of that, which is cool. I think we're number one and number two. When you look back at it and you really see those games, yeah, we were able to stop the run. But were we able to stop the pass? If I know for sure, and we saw it wide open in the Detroit Lions game, we held Jahmyr Gibbs to 2.8 yards, which was really good. I want a defense that can stop everything. We can pound our chest and say, yeah, man, we held Gibbs, man, to 2.8 yards. But, man, the dude averaged about 11, 12 yards in the air. You know what I'm saying? And we got to understand that, like, when we looking at, like, the game and the footages and all of this stuff, would you rather say to yourself, if I focus in on stopping the run and I'm only allowing 4 or 5 yards per toe on the ground, but if I drop back and throw the ball and I'm averaging 15 to 20, I don't even need to run the ball because I can throw it. And I think that's why teams are literally saying we don't really need to run the ball. And the less attempts that I have running the ball, it may look good on paper, but that's all fool's gold. And it hit me because remember when I was saying that even we had before fake numbers, because I'm not finna sit back and think to ourselves that we are really stopping the run when we're really not. I think that when teams want to run on us, they do it, and it's proven.
At Marilyn, $7,055.05. All y'all in here, getting all this good knowledge and no super chat.
Come on with it.
Same.
Yeah, on paper.
Yeah. I think you shame, cause there's no H in there, huh? But shame, I got
shame.
I picked you up what you said.
Shame. Shame.
We love you, man. We appreciate you. I think that when teams wanted to run on us, they ran it. It wasn't that the ideal that we were absolutely stopping it. It's just that they didn't really scheme to game plan to run the ball on us, because the quarterback could always just drop back 3 steps and just throw it. And it was prevalent when we were able to see teams when they get into the red zone, they run right on there. And we sitting like, hey, wait a minute. We had Quentin Williams and them boys out there. And Quentin Williams is a good run plugger. But it still bounces to the outside and able to run the ball. And I've seen this before. Yeah, Marilyn says, I meant shame. I got you.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
I got you. One way or another, man. You know, the rustic look. Boy, I had this hoodie for a while. It's scraping off, but it's still there. We've seen this before, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, where you saw this before? We were a top 5 rushing defense in 2018. Il placebo. Il placebo stuff, man. It was why were we top 5, top 10 and stopping the run? We was top 10, I believe, in 2016. That because teams didn't run the ball because they were trying to keep up with us scoring. So when we got to the postseason in 2018, we played against the Rams. And we thought we were going to come in there and stop the run. We beat the Seattle Seahawks. We beat them in 2018. And we thought we were going to do something in the next game. But we couldn't stop the run. We thought we had some run stoppers. But in actuality, teams wasn't running on us because they were trying to keep up with us. Didn't y'all know this weird stat right here? And go look it up. Go look up the L.A. Rams, or at the time they could have been the St. Louis Rams in 2018 or whatever they were at. They had C.J. Anderson ran all of it. I think that somewhere he's still running on the Cowboys. I think that somewhere he is still running. Law, I need that hoodie. Let me rep that, fam. Appreciate you. The link is somewhere in the description box under Law merch. I appreciate you for supporting. This weird stat. The Cowboys are, let me pull it up real quickly. Bear with me, Cowboy Nation. I thank y'all for tuning in. Here it is. I know I got it right here. Hold on. Here we go. I don't know if y'all can read all of this. I don't know if it can all fit. And it might. Okay, boom, it did. The Cowboys have historically struggled when scoring under 20. In fact, since 2016, Dallas is only 4-42 in games when they score fewer than 20 points. 4-42, meaning that, and I know it's kind of, crass to me to say, okay, 20, but there are some games that you're going to have your defense to keep teams from scoring at least 20 points. And there will be some games that we are not going to be able to score 20. But you mean to tell me in 10 years, we only won 4 games? 4 games. When we're scoring under 20 points. And I know it may sound crass, but what I'm saying and what I'm trying to get at is that for all of these years, we've been an offensive-heavy team. We're not a gutted-out team. I think the damn Patriots won a Super Bowl with scoring about like 10 points or something like that, or 11 points, something like that. That show you how good their defense was, right? And they were able to slow down the Rams. I think the Rams only scored like 7-3 or something like that. Whatever points that they were able to do. We can only dream and wish for those type of things. I think that this team, if the Cowboys really want to make a major impact for the future, figure out a way to solidify this defense. Figure out a way. Law, we might get smoked by the Chargers. Chargers are a good threat for us because their quarterback is heads and shoulders better than J.J. McCarthy, right? Let me give y'all some Chargers talk right quick. They're well coached. What they do is they run the ball. They gritty with the run game. Vidal is a nice running back, hard downhill running back, especially when you add in Omarion Hampton. When you look at at what they can do, Slater's still there. What they got my guy, my Mississippi boy, Trey Harris. He got subtle speed, good height, 6'3", 210-ish. The person that we then they got the Keenan Allen, 6'2", 211-ish. Those who said now one thing, let me pull up their deal so y'all can all see. Appreciate y'all. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all want me to continue to go. Keep the engagement up. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all want me to continue to be live. For those who said, yeah, Keenan Allen is washed, can we get an apology, right? And for those who said that they would love to see Keenan Allen in a Cowboys uniform, you can gloat. You can gloat. And I think that people were making that case for Allen even when we had Pickens. Yeah. So if you were Team KA, put KA in the chat. And if you just go ahead and own up to it, man. Be like, yeah, That would have been nice. Even though I like Ryan Flo, that would have been lethal crazy. You would have had your veteran wide receiver. You would have still had Pickens and CD. Oh, my God. Shoot, you might end up beating the damn Chicago Bears, right? but there was a lot of kickback, a lot of people that were pushing that idea out the way and saying that the man was trash, he ain't good, he blah, blah, blah. But he was pretty good this year, and he still is. So we going to see him in the physical form, let it be known. It's going to be troublesome. And this lad kid, get ready. We're going to have some time trying to cover these guys, man. I'm just being real with y'all, because where they going to attack, let me pull up my team. Right. Come on, Cowboys. Where y'all at? Here we go. Boom. Where they going to attack us at? In this area right here. They're going to do some concepts. They're going to do all of these, man. And I stopped looking at this. I stopped looking at these damn grades as far as offensive linemen, because it don't even matter. It don't even matter. All these weeks, man, you can look at tape. You can say, hey, man, we're going to exploit this kid. We're going to get up. We're going to do these type of things. We're going to create pressure. We're going to get to him. We're going to put him on his back. I haven't seen a game that we looked at this chart, we looked at tape, and it materialized. I haven't seen it. So it's going to be one of those things, man.
At Sadiqa Charles, $5,194.20. Law, accept this for now. I got you better on PayPal. You know I do not like YouTube taking any of my money from me without my permission. Open mouth smile, open mouth smile, open mouth smile.
Pause. Nah, appreciate you, Sadiq. Appreciate you. Shame on YouTube for taking 30% of the $20. Yeah. And then it's double whammy, because they take 30, and then Uncle Sam next month gonna be like, I told my tax preparer, is there any way that I can claim Uncle Sam on my taxes? Uncle Sam be out with two hands, man. You know what I'm saying? I was like, God, dog. Yes, indeed. But appreciate you so much, Sadiq, and I thank you so much for your support. You know, I really do. The late night conversation. So when I'm talking about this defense, man, I'm not beating up anybody. I think it's water under the bridge now to dissect and go over these guys and talk value worth aspects. Oh yeah, and limited today was Rebel. He was limited. They bringing up Josh Butler. I think that he may get a shot this weekend. I don't know for sure what they're going to do, and as well as Peyton Turner. Yeah. Jerry Jones says, Law, don't forget I take 100% at Oxnard. Man, Jerry, you need to stop charging for that damn parking. And it's in gravel, man. You don't wear your good shoes when you got to park inside that gravel parking lot on the weekends. $25. Yeah, $25. And Jerry Jones, boy, you crazy. But shout out to Jerry. So what I'm looking for, evaluation time. I want to see Mears Live foul in the game. I want to see Shamar. Shamar Moore. What's his name? Shamar something. James, right? Shamar Moore was an actor, right? I want to see Shamar James, SJ. You can keep Overshawn at that mic. Tell him, don't you know what? You know, Overshawn led the team in tackles last game. Let Overshawn be the mic in these last three games. Let us go with SJ, Overshawn, and Mears Live foul. I don't give a damn how many times he roughing the passer or roughing the player up. He over pursue. And I told y'all, me and I want to say and I'm going to get your name, Glenn out of Philly. Me and Glenn out of Philly had our disagreements with Mears live foul. And I said, I like that play. And I said, if it was anybody else, but by it being us, the Cowboys, that they call a late hit on that play. Who remember that play? You know, Mears live foul. And I said, man, I like that tenacity. Don't y'all speak bad about that. Don't y'all remember when I was saying that? Do y'all remember when I was saying that? Don't y'all speak bad about that, Cowboy Nation. We love that tenacity. We love that energy. And then what y'all did, y'all complain. And the next week, Mears live foul was benched. Matter of fact, Mears live foul from that point on was sitting on that pond to change your mind. And I was sitting there like, damn, man. We say we want a dog, but as soon as we get that damn dog and he start taking a dump in the kitchen or taking a dump in the living room, instead of disciplining the dog right then and there, man, we take the dog out to the pasture. We take the dog out for a long walk. You know what I'm saying? With the shotgun. You know, man, they try to take the heart away from Mears live foul. No, I like Mears live foul. I think that some of them games we lost, if we would at least keep him in there, opposed to putting them old heads in there, even though he just everywhere in the wrong assignment. At least when he hit you, you be like, man, that next day, you be like, man, that damn 35 dude with the ponytail out, man, you got to watch out for him. He's stinging. These football players talk to other football players, you know. And they be on the phone saying, yeah, man, that 35, he lay in the wood. So the next time you coming across that middle, you remember, man, that dude lay in the wood. You get the alligator arms, man. We need that, man. I would rather Mears live foul to be out there than Kenneth Murray or Sanborn at the time. And hey, Wilson, he's okay, but give me the young guy that playing crazy lights out. They're gonna make some mistakes. Don't y'all know? Pinpoint that game that it happened. Was that the let me pull this chart up again. Didn't that happen like week 2 or something like that? We won the game, I remember. I was hot. I was mad. I was mad at my guy Glenn out of Philly and a few other people like, Law, man, you know you were wrong, but you know, blah, blah, blah. That had to happen week 2. Shoot. It was versus the Eagles. That happened week 1. So, man, if that happened week 1, and then the Cowboys got froggy with him, which that's what he's supposed to do. He was technically a rookie. It was the second season, but he got more and more reps this year than he had last year. He's supposed to. Think about this. If Mears live foul went through his growing pains from, let's say, 5 weeks, instead of just toying around with him, by the Carolina game, he would have been ready. By the Washington game, he'd have been ready with all them reps, man. Look at all them games, man. By this time, he'd have been ready. If they never kind of knee-jerked around with Mears live foul, he would have been ready. To this point, we'd have went through some growing pains in all of these games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'd have went through some growing pains with Mears live foul. But right now, we've been looking at him like, yeah, don't you know how many skulls he would have been breaking around? Shoot. But they went to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Got in one little fight and my mama got scared. You know what I'm saying? Yes, indeed. This is Amish After Dark. It's a cold-blooded name, man. Let me pull up your comment right quick. Liv Fowl was playing good and had confidence with Zim, even though he was learning, right? Zim should have stayed in some type of capacity, giving the obvious change to zone. Yeah. Zim love Mears, but not Flus. And you love who you love, right? We're not trying to change the heart and soul and minds of people, right? You love who you love. I'm always looking at like potential wise with the youth. If they are equaling, then go with the youth. You don't have to continue to. And I get it. We pressing. We want to win a certain way. You want people to buy into what your system is and what you try to recall and what you want out there. And Baganzi, however you say that man's name, and Eberflus, that's not a good dish of way that they approach the linebacker room. We had to learn, like we were saying, just play the youth. Don't you know how many times we banged on the table for Shamar James to get out there? He had some bad games, bad moments, bad missing assignments, but he learned in the process. Since they're not finna go out there and make adequate trades or what have you, let the youth play. But what I really want to see, I'm praying that Overshown stays at that mic and you put Mears Learfowl out there for a longer time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Josh Brown says, hell, we got 4 pains with Dan Murray. Yeah. Yeah. And somebody will argue and say, well, man, Murray didn't play that bad, Law. He was playing good. You know, it was the scheme. Well, let Mears Learfowl play in there so we know when he hit people, they start moving around, falling out like Family Guys for a reason, right? Yes, indeed. I think where else I was going? I was going over who were we talking about? This right here. Let me flip it over and give y'all the other side of it. Appreciate everybody. Yeah, boom. All right. Let's talk about this offense. Oh, before I go into the offensive side, let me make sure I give y'all this right here. This the DNPs. Bland didn't practice. Tyler Guyton didn't practice. CeeDee Lamb didn't practice. Lupke didn't practice. Quinn and Williams didn't practice due to concussions. He had 2 concussions, by the way, and he had a cracked cranium for some reason that was on the report. Josh Butler, he was limited today. And normally it's a ramp-up period. The first day really open to the media. They try to do some things for you guys so you guys can see and can't see. Carson's shoulder, hamstring. Trayvon Diggs, it was originally knee, hip. And then Trayvon Diggs' camp came out and said, hey, come on, man, my hip is okay. So they had to make the corrections. It's not knee, hip. It's just his knee. And I'm glad that he tried to get the clarifications on that. Nothing wrong with his hips. Maffa, shoulder, but he was on the practice report. Siobhan Revel, knee limited. Peyton Turner, former first round or early second round pick. Ribs, he's been limited. They covered him. Keep in mind, they kept a roster spot for him all this year. Didn't really see any flashes of him getting off of his releases. He still played with high pad levels. When you look back at some of the tape, he didn't give a lot of push. I don't know what they see out of Peyton Turner outside of measurables, but they cover him and they cover Josh Butler. And Josh Butler, my guy. So it is for what it is. Javonte Williams, neck, limited. Overshown, limited. Ferg, full. Osa, full. And Nate Thomas, full. Those are all of the guys. Those are all of the guys who, quote unquote, practiced today or didn't practice. That's your practice report. All right. So if you are looking at this chart right now, it is 11:52. We still live like 95, and yes, we are. Shout out to y'all. Hit that heart button and hit that like button. If you are looking at this chart right here on the offensive line, or offense in general, according to the grades, and I know y'all don't like grades, but follow me. Who are the weakest? Who are the weak spots on this chart? Can you point out the names? Can you point out the names? Why do I feel like Hunter Lupke was balling? Because he's balling, man. He's your highest paid running back on the team right now, Hunter Lupke. just by these numbers alone, you know. Let me see. Who do y'all see the weak spot just by the numbers alone? I think that only on this offense, you know, because this is what we got to go up against. We got to still go up against, say, opportunistic type of defense. Murray, dang, you putting defense on there when there's nothing but offense up here. CB room, come on, man. We on the offense. Man. That's well, y'all. All right. Let me just say this. All right. So the weakling is Nate Thomas, Ferg to a degree, and those are your two guys that's the weakest on this particular chart line for your mind. All right. What I'm saying is the Cowboys, if they want to really correct this team and help this team out, and you can't get rid of Ferg. I think Ferg is office furniture, by the way. He's not going anywhere. He's friends of the family and all of this good stuff. And let me see if I can put that to I can put Schoon out there. He's 54 and 59. We can go 12 personnel. If the Cowboys are very serious about 2026, first and foremost, I have no bones to pick with Schoonmaker. But it's time to find you a legitimate backup tight end that can really stretch the field and do things for you. Like I said earlier, find a way to get Nate Thomas up out of there and only be a swing tackle. He's only good at Costco sample sizes, right? And I think that he played better on the right side than left side, but that's a whole nother conversation. Since the Cowboys refusing, let me get out of this 12 personnel. Let me go to 11, all right? Since the Cowboys refusing to correct this part right here, they stubborn to a degree, because what can they really do is slide him here to this spot, but they're not going to do that. I get it. They're satisfied with having this strong. This is the strongest probably interior of all of football. When we got paper mache on the edges, which one can say that is by far just as important as the middle. We can fix some of this stuff by trading for a bona fide left tackle. When Tyler Guyton get back in, you move Tyler Guyton this way, and then you go Boogie in from there, right? I think if Steele get cut, you save about I think somewhere north of like 10 million, 11 million. I don't know for sure. I'll double check. But that's where we need to go, Cowboy Nation. You know, I think that we need to fix that little small piece right there. Don't get rid of, I'm going to say this again so give y'all a visual. Don't get rid of Williams. Just add 2 Williams. Don't get rid of Williams. Just add 2 Williams. That's all we need to do, ladies and gentlemen. Just add 2 Williams. You know, that's what I'm saying. And this is what our, I want to say 21 personnel look like when you have all of your running backs in the backfield. Okay. And there's Hunter Lupke and all of those boys. Let me go right here. I think I wanted to pull up something. I don't know if I can find it. I think I can if I go through it. Let's see. I'm looking for it. Y'all bear with me. I think they had a great point. Looking for it. It's a good video. Well, I know who sent me there. Had to be. Give me 1 second. I'm giving y'all some terrible. Was it him that sent this to me? I'm gonna find it, y'all. Y'all bear with me. Gotta go through my DMs. Here it is. I know he didn't send it to me. Is it still there? He deleted it. Okay. I'll have to find it another way. But with that being said, let's get it to this point.
It starts from the first phone call. Most of the time, you're going to talk to Gene Burkett, a 30-year partner. You're not going to talk to some employee that just got put on the phones that day.
There are things that are so crucial, especially if it's a cataclysmic event, to have our experts get out and look at the vehicle, witness statements, photos, the whole thing.
Call Frenkel first. Chosen by the people, feared by the insurance companies. Call Frenkel first.
That's 214 or 817 and every 3 that you can dial. Be sure to reach out to our proud partners, Frenkel & Frenkel Personal Injury Lawyers. They're backed with 100 years of combined experiences. They're located here in the heart of Dallas. Be sure to reach out to our proud partners, Frenkel & Frenkel Personal Injury Lawyers. Slip and fall, hit your hip at work, hit that knee. You need some more synovial fluid in that knee and all of that good stuff. Reach out to our proud partners, man, and they will be able to assist you on getting some coins in your pocket. And they will fight for you, not against you, like those insurance companies. And last but not least, if you can't dial that number, just visit frankelfirm.com. Appreciate y'all. With that being said, right now this is our positioning 14th spot, 6, 7, and 1. These are the current mock draft selections. McCoy. I looked at some of his footages. I like what he can bring to the table. The Howell kid got good burst, good acceleration. I love to see the combine. I love to see some of the other things that they can do. But for right now, those 2 picks are looking pretty good. And then Keon Sabb, Alabama, Roll Tide. Never get mad at an Alabama safety. All I could think of is all of these elements we need. The only way I'm not drafting the linebacker if we do something in the free agency. I think that the Cowboys really need to identify some of those other things like linebackers to bring in to add to. I would love for Shamar James to be pushed around to be able to compete. I love to have some overshown insurance, and I love to have a Mears Live Fire counter. But what I need before we dive deep into deep diving of drafting is to know who the hell going to be our defensive coordinator, because that comes before the draft. You got to make sure you do a great inventory of your team. Here's the other thing. Our scheme been such a terrible one, and I'm not beating up this team, but I am. Our team been such a terrible one that whoever will be our new defensive coordinator, they going to have to do new evaluation of said players that's on his team. Whereas, like people are saying, Mike Zim, he really liked Miroslav Fowl, right? So now whoever's our defensive coordinator need to comb through and see who he likes. If not, if we run this thing back with Matt Eberflus, and I know those are fighting words, we need to make sure that we give him everything that he wants again. I know this sounds crass, unless you're just going to just rip the Band-Aid off and fire him. But going through this again for 2026, knowing that you can bank and you can book it, that if Dak Prescott is healthy, knock on wood, that this offense will be a top 5 offense. And if you decide to go into this offseason again and roll the dice again with Matt Eberflus, it's going to be a long year again, because he already told you that he don't know how to make the necessary adjustments. He already displayed to you that it got to be the players' skills in order for them to get out there and make something happen. Nuss says, nah, fire him now. Yeah, I feel you. So those are going to be the crossroads that we're going to meet and get right to it. So you won't be lonely. Cowboy Nation, I really appreciate y'all. Hit that like button, share this content for the late live stream. I don't know how long I've been live, but I was live. I'm giving you guys some content for tonight that spill over to the next day. That's why it's so great to know that you guys hit that like button, share this content, and also you all was able to hit that notification bell because y'all are here. I would say this though. We got 3 games to go, 3 games to evaluate, 3 games to see what can happen with some of the players. Not going to give y'all playoff hopes and talks and aspirations and adulations and all of that stuff. No. We're not going to do that. But we will say that watch these 3 games as glorified preseason games. Pay attention to the individuals and push your mindset to what they may become for the 2026 season. Sonny Styles is nice, and I do like that he got a football pedigree. His father played linebacker in the National Football League, so he gonna have a leg up on a lot of folks. Right? OG Trillo says, hey, 3 games to tank. Cowboys not tanking. Schottenheimer said they want to win, and I don't blame him. Take what you can. Maybe this can spill over to the next season. We'll be all washed. If certain things happen and then within the confines of that. Yeah. But neither here nor there. When you're up against the struggles, meet it squarely, face to face. Lift your chin, set your shoulders, plant your feet, and take a brace. When it's vain to try to dodge it, do the best that you can do. You may fall, you may conquer. See it through. You see, black may be the clouds about you, and your future may seem grim. But don't let your nerves desert you. Keep yourself in fighting trim. If worse is bound to happen in spite of all that you do, remember, running from it will not save you. See it all the way through. They say even hope may seem bend with beset, but don't let your nerve desert you. Because understand this, that you are facing what other legends have met. Keep your eyes and your head high. See this thing all the way through, Cowboy Nation. Keep moving. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. And that's what we got to do. Shake this off. Continue to see it through. See it through, my friends. Respect. I feel you, fam. Nuss, appreciate you. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. You're listening to nothing but the best. Happy birthday to whoever birthday it may be. Let's get it. Seeing people putting happy birthday in the chat. Just want to be able to let you guys know that we will be having at Sasha's Kitchen and Cocktail an event, a tour drive. We will be the DFW. Let me pull this up again. I prematurely went here to the roll credits. But let me pull it around here. We will be having Journalists Give Back, Holiday in Black, the DFW, Association of Black Journalists. It will be great food, great vibes. It will be from 6 to 10 at Sasha's Kitchen, Jesse Holly Foundation. So be sure to donate to that. And Malik Hooker will be giving away some generous clothing there. And we will have Murmur, Rom there. The Sideline Socials will be there. There's a group of individuals there, as well as others. I Like to Party. He will be there. And I believe Murmur Rom will be there. So be sure to check us out tomorrow between the hours of 6 and about 11-ish, 6 and 10-ish. It's going to be at the Sasha's Kitchen. It's located in Addison. So don't meet us there, beat us there. And if you need help with the address and beyond, I'm going to post it in the chat area now. And let's continue to grind and shine. Boom. End the party. As they say, one day at a time, one movement at a time, brick by brick, continue to stack these things together. Mama said that there'll be days literally just like this. And if you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it, to work day and night, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep, if all of your desires of it makes you quite mad that you don't get tired, and it makes you hold everything tawny and cheap if life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you'll gladly go out there and sweat for it, fret for it, or plan for it, or lose all terror of your mind, if you would simply, just simply go after the things you want with all of your capacity, strength, and sagacity, with faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold or the poverty or the famish or fame, sickness of body or brain can turn you away from the things you want. If dogged and grim and besieged and beset, with the help of Almighty Cowboy Nation and everyone that's listening, you will get it. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours again. And if it's your birthday, Sadiq Charles, happy birthday to you. I didn't know it was your birthday. Put SC in the chat. Let's get it.
have to be your biggest fan. And when things are really tough and they're really rough and nothing's working, but there's something inside of you that says, I just have to follow that. Because you don't know who you're going to meet, who you're going to meet, who you're going because you don't know who you're going to meet, who you're going to meet.